Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Walking with Warriors podcast, brought to you by Vertex Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, where we take a look at the sickle cell disease caregiver experience through our eyes. I'm Elle.
I'm Patrice. Today, we'll be getting into some more of our personal experiences as caregivers to our warriors. Specifically, how we navigate feelings of guilt and the complex feelings that can come up as we've gone through our journeys with sickle cell disease.
Please note that the views expressed are those of the host or guest and are not necessarily shared by Vertex. All participants have been compensated by Vertex. This podcast is only intended for U.S. audiences and for educational purposes. It is not intended to replace discussions with your healthcare provider.
Remember, everyone's experience with sickle cell disease, or SCD, is different, so it's important to talk to a doctor before making any changes to your routine.
So, Elle, are you ready for this conversation? This is a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're truly ever ready to talk about it, but let's just do it. Let's not think about it too much.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it, right?
I'm with you. So, guilt. It's a huge word. It's a huge feeling. And I'd like for us to just share our moments of guilt on this advocacy, on this sickle cell journey. Maybe like how we dealt with it. And
so for me, I would say in those early days, talking about guilt goes back to the very, very beginning when I was pregnant and I was expecting. And the OBGYN walked in the room and said, I need to test you and your spouse. And at that moment, I didn't know why, but she did. And I remember at the next appointment when the results came in, she told us we were both sickle cell trait carriers. And even then, I really didn't know what that meant, how it would truly change the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact is, no matter what the percentage is, when you find out you do in fact have a child with sickle cell disease, it changes you. And for me, I did not know I was a sickle cell trait carrier.
So the moment I got that call, riddled with guilt, like I cried and cried and cried. And I wasn't necessarily crying because sickle cell was the diagnosis. I was crying for myself. I was crying because I hurt so bad and I felt so bad that I had done this to him, right? That's how I saw it. And I carried that for a very long time. And it doesn't do you any good. It eats away at you. And I feel like you don't really make really good decisions when you're working out of guilt.
Right.
It can be a bad way to function.
You go through the moments of guilt all over again. And for me personally, I couldn't talk about those feelings with anyone because as a Black woman, I'm supposed to be strong. And I didn't want to let down my family and say, I don't feel strong in this moment.
Yeah.
I didn't want to let other people down. And there's a heaviness to it that you can't transfer to anybody. It is uniquely your own.
Absolutely.
And you have to carry it by yourself. And so I had to let go. And with my understanding of guilt, there are times when you revisit it, even though you let it
Oh,
go.
yes, absolutely.
Talk about that,
It,
Patrice.
it comes back. I have literally, a few people know this, and I'm going to share it today. I'm just going to be transparent. There was an incident, and it was bad. My warrior was experiencing some things he had never, ever experienced, and it
Mhm.
was life-threatening.
Mhm.
And it was one of those experiences where there's something every moment. Like, it's just the item after item after item after item. And you are like, when is this going to stop? Just please, just stop, right? And so I was leaving the hospital and I went outside to I was just leaving the room, but I decided to go all the way outside. And I found myself in my car, just walking. Got in my car, rolled up all the windows, closed it real good, and just screamed. Like, I screamed like somebody was in the car getting me. Like, I just screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed. And when I finished and released all of that, I realized what it was. It wasn't even that situation. It was that guilt creeping back in, telling me this is because of you.
For me, as a mother, as a caregiver, as an advocate, I've had to learn how to replace the guilt with love.
Mm.
Love for my warrior, because I don't want to be doing these things because I feel guilt.
Yeah.
I want to do them because I love her.
Because like you said, every now and then it creeps back in. But the release of that ongoing, that never ending, heavy weighted guilt. And so now you're absolutely right. It's just love. It's just, you're doing it because you love them. You're doing it because you want to see them do well. You're doing it because you know it's going to only be the best for them, whatever it is.
I realize this is something that I can carry. This journey, this caregiver experience is one that I can carry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to talk to somebody about it, because you constantly have to have a check-in to make sure that you're truly coping and not just masking over things or ignoring it. Because I do have that type of personality where I throw myself into work, I produce, I create to make sure that I'm meeting these other goals. But sometimes I have to be careful that that is not just masking the reality of what I'm dealing with, that I'm not doing it to avoid being honest with myself.
Yeah.
So we're just being real today.
That's wisdom. That's wisdom right there. And, talking to a professional, let me tell you, God and therapy is no joke. It works.
It's important.
It's important. And what I really, really like about it is not only, as you said, are you getting a chance to talk to someone who's not going to be judgmental, who's not going to give you those looks, who doesn't make you feel like you've not made the mark, right? But you also have someone who's going to give you some practical tools.
Yes.
Those tools that you can use to work through the stuff so that you're not masking it, as you said. I mean, it's a win-win.
And they remind you that that's not the whole story. It's not all of your future. It's just a small segment that is a part of your story, but it is not all of your story. And so to families who are struggling with guilt, know that others have felt it. We acknowledge it. It does exist. But it doesn't have a grip on us. You can release it. You can let go. and you can proceed and move forward. Whatever that looks for you, whatever it looks like for your family, you can create a new path, a new story, and be in charge and in control of the what's now, what's new, and give yourself permission to have a new beginning, a redefining moment.
Guilt does not have to win.
Say it one more time.
For the people in the back, guilt does not have to win. That's been my word today, but it's true.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us. If you like this episode and want us to keep making more, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can listen to or watch the Walking with Warriors podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and walkingwithwarriors.com.
On the next episode, we'll be speaking with a young adult warrior about their experience living with SCD. See you next time.